Only 90 seconds left, Archangel Michael says, your blessing is near. Do not move. Do not scroll. Do not let another voice distract you from what you are hearing right now. Because you did not arrive at this message by accident. You were brought here. And I need you to understand the urgency of what I am about to tell you. There are only 90 seconds left before something shifts in your spiritual atmosphere. 90 seconds. And Archangel Michael is standing at the edge of your battle, watching you closely, commanding you not to surrender your faith at the very moment your blessing is approaching. This is not a joke. This is not entertainment. This message is only for you. You have been through enough. You have cried in places where nobody knew your tears existed. You have smiled while carrying battles that would have broken someone else. You have asked God questions in the silence of your room. You have wondered why the blessing seemed delayed. Why the door remained closed. Why the answer took so long. Why people who promised to stand beside you suddenly disappeared. But heaven has seen everything. Every prayer. Every betrayal. Every sleepless night. Every moment you almost gave up. And now Archangel Michael is bringing you a warning and a promise. Do not stop trusting God now. Not now. Not when you are this close. You have been standing at the threshold of something you cannot yet see. And the enemy wants you to walk away before the door opens. That is the strategy. Make you tired. Make you impatient. Make you question whether God heard you. Make you believe that nothing is happening because you cannot see it happening. But listen to me carefully. Silence does not mean absence. Delay does not mean denial. And the fact that you cannot see the blessing does not mean heaven has forgotten your name. Something is moving. Something is coming. And Archangel Michael says you must hold your position. You must not retreat. You must not surrender your faith. You must not allow fear to speak louder than the promise God placed inside you. You have reached a moment where your faith is being tested, not because you are abandoned, but because you are approaching a breakthrough. The pressure has been intense because the transition has been intense. The resistance has been heavy because what is ahead of you carries weight. You have felt something changing. You may not have had words for it. You may have felt restless. You may have awakened suddenly at night. You may have sensed that something was about to happen. You may have looked around your life and thought, why does everything feel so strange? You are not crazy. Your intuition has been trying to tell you that you are standing between two seasons. One season is ending. Another is approaching. And Archangel Michael is standing between you and everything that tried to follow you into your next chapter. He is cutting the cords of old fear. He is breaking the chains of emotional exhaustion. He is confronting the forces that tried to drain your confidence. He is guarding the door that leads into your blessing. And he is telling you, do not turn back. There were people who benefited from your confusion. There were people who were comfortable when you doubted yourself. There were people who did not understand the strength God placed inside you. Some smiled at you while secretly hoping you would never rise higher than them. Some watched your struggles and said nothing. Some knew your potential and still tried to keep you small. But you do not need revenge. You need alignment. You do not need to expose everyone. You need to keep walking. Because God is capable of revealing what you never had the strength to uncover. And Archangel Michael does not need your permission to defend what heaven has assigned to you. He is already moving. He is already cutting away what cannot enter your future. He is already placing protection around what belongs to you. You thought the delay was punishment. But perhaps the delay was protection. You thought the closed door meant rejection. But perhaps God was keeping you away from something that would have destroyed you. You thought the unanswered prayer meant heaven was silent. But perhaps heaven was preparing an answer bigger than the one you imagined. Do not judge God's timing by your emotions. Your emotions change. God's purpose does not. And right now, your greatest enemy is not the person who betrayed you. It is the voice inside you that says, maybe nothing will ever change. That voice must be silenced. Because you have survived too much to die in the wilderness one step before your promised land. You have cried too many tears to abandon your faith at the final hour. You have endured too many storms to believe that the storm is your permanent address. It is not. This chapter is closing. Archangel Michael is declaring that what drained you will no longer control you. What confused you will no longer define you. What betrayed you will no longer determine your future. And what was delayed is not necessarily lost. There is a blessing with your name on it. There is an answer that has been forming beyond what your eyes can see. There is movement in places you cannot access. There are conversations happening that you have not heard. There are doors being prepared that you have not yet touched. And this is why you must keep trusting God. Because if you give up now, you may walk away from the very thing you prayed for. Listen carefully. Archangel Michael is not telling you to be passive. He is telling you to be watchful. Be alert. Be discerning. Be spiritually awake. Over the next few hours, pay attention to what suddenly changes. Pay attention to unexpected messages. Pay attention to unusual opportunities. Pay attention to the people who suddenly reveal their true intentions. Pay attention to the doors that open without you forcing them. And pay attention to the doors that close without you understanding why. Not every closed door is a tragedy. Some closed doors are divine protection. Some endings are answers. Some separations are rescue. Some disappointments are redirection. You have been asking God to bless you. But sometimes God's blessing begins by removing what was poisoning you. And Archangel Michael has been assigned to that removal. He is standing behind you when you feel weak. He is standing beside you when you feel alone. He is standing before you when danger approaches. And he is standing at the gates of your next season with a sword in his hand, declaring that what is not ordained for your future cannot cross the boundary. This is why some people had to leave. This is why certain relationships became uncomfortable. This is why certain friendships suddenly changed. This is why you started seeing things you once ignored. Your eyes were opened. Your discernment became sharper. Your spirit became less willing to tolerate what your heart once excused. You are not becoming cold. You are becoming aware. And there is a difference. The chosen one does not always recognize the moment of transformation. Sometimes you think you are losing people when you are actually losing attachments. Sometimes you think you are being rejected when you are actually being redirected. Sometimes you think you are being punished when you are actually being prepared. You have been marked by what you survived. You carry evidence that the enemy tried to destroy you and failed. You carry scars that prove you fought battles nobody else saw. And now you are entering a season where survival will no longer be your identity. You will begin to live. You will begin to breathe again. You will begin to experience moments where you realize, I am finally free. But before that freedom fully arrives, there is one final instruction. Trust God. Trust Him when you cannot see the whole path. Trust Him when the answer is taking longer than expected. Trust Him when people misunderstand you. Trust Him when you have to walk alone. Trust Him when your circumstances contradict your prayers. Because faith is not believing only when the evidence is visible. Faith is continuing to walk when the road is dark because you know who is leading you. And Archangel Michael is telling you that your blessing is near. Nearer than you think. Closer than your fear wants you to believe. You are standing at the edge of a shift. And the enemy knows it. That is why your mind has been under pressure. That is why distractions have increased. That is why you have been tempted to give up. That is why old memories have resurfaced. That is why people from your past may suddenly reappear. Not everything that returns deserves access. Remember that. A familiar face does not always represent a divine assignment. A familiar voice does not always carry a divine message. And an apology does not automatically restore trust. Use wisdom. Use discernment. Let God guide you. Archangel Michael is warning you not to exchange your future for temporary comfort. Do not return to what God delivered you from simply because the new season feels unfamiliar. You have been praying for change. Change will require you to become comfortable with unfamiliar territory. The blessing may not look like what you expected. The opportunity may come through a door you never considered. The answer may arrive in a form you almost overlooked. So remain awake. Remain ready. Remain faithful. There are only 90 seconds left, not necessarily on a clock you can see, but in a spiritual moment where you are being asked to make a decision. Will you trust God? Or will you let fear decide for you? Will you believe the promise? Or will you believe the pressure? Will you keep moving? Or will you turn around because the road became difficult? Archangel Michael is begging you. Do not give up now. Do not throw away your faith now. Do not speak defeat over yourself now. Do not declare that nothing will ever change. Your words matter. Your focus matters. Your obedience matters. Your next decision matters. The next few hours may bring a moment that tests your discernment. The next 24 hours may reveal something you needed to know. The next 3 days may bring movement, confirmation, or a shift in your perspective. But whatever happens, do not panic. If something leaves, let it leave. If something opens, walk through it with wisdom. If someone reveals themselves, believe what you see. If an opportunity appears, pray before you act. If you receive unexpected news, do not react from fear. Remember who is protecting you. Remember who brought you this far. Remember every time you thought you would not survive, and yet you did. You are still here. That is not meaningless. Your story is not over. The chapter that almost broke you will become the testimony that strengthens someone else. The pain you thought was wasted will become wisdom. The betrayal will become discernment. The delay will become patience. The wilderness will become evidence that God can sustain you when nothing around you makes sense. And the blessing? It will come. Not because you manipulated it. Not because you forced it. Not because you chased people who refused to value you. It will come because what God has ordained for you cannot be permanently stolen by another person. They may delay. They may interfere. They may speak against you. They may misunderstand you. But they cannot cancel what God has appointed. Your blessing is not in their hands. Your future is not in their hands. Your identity is not in their hands. Your destiny is not in their hands. It is in God's hands. And Archangel Michael stands as a guardian over the battle you cannot see. So tonight, or whenever you hear this message, make a decision. Release the fear. Release the obsession with who betrayed you. Release the need to understand every detail. You do not need to know everything to obey the next instruction. You only need enough faith to take the next step. And your next step is simple. Keep trusting God. Keep your heart clean. Keep your eyes open. Keep your spirit discerning. Do not chase what God is removing. Do not fear what God is sending. Do not question every closed door. And do not ignore the open one when it appears. Because something is coming. Something is shifting. Something that has been delayed is beginning to move. Something that was hidden is beginning to be revealed. Something that was stolen from your peace is being restored. And something that you thought was impossible may soon become your testimony. This is your final warning before the shift. Do not sabotage your blessing with doubt. Do not abandon your position because the waiting became uncomfortable. Do not allow one bad day to convince you that God has abandoned you. You were chosen to hear this because you needed the reminder now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now. Archangel Michael is standing over you. He is watching the gates. He is cutting away fear. He is blocking what was sent to destroy you. He is exposing what was hidden. He is preparing you to receive what you have been praying for. And his command is clear. Stand. Stand in faith. Stand in truth. Stand in courage. Stand when they misunderstand you. Stand when the door closes. Stand when the answer delays. Stand when you cannot see the way forward. Because the same God who carried you through the darkest valley is the God who will lead you into the blessing. You have survived the night. You are approaching the morning. The enemy wanted you exhausted. But you are still standing. The enemy wanted you bitter. But you are still capable of love. The enemy wanted you hopeless. But you are still listening. That is why this message found you. Your faith is still alive. And as long as your faith is alive, the story is not finished. So lift your head. Breathe. Pray. Stay alert. Watch what happens next. Because the 90 seconds are not about fear. They are about decision. The moment is here. Choose faith. Choose courage. Choose obedience. Choose to trust God even when you cannot see what He is doing. And when the blessing finally arrives, you will understand why you had to wait. You will understand why certain people had to leave. You will understand why some doors stayed closed. You will understand why heaven refused to give you what you wanted before you were ready to carry it. And you will look back and say, "Now I understand." So hear this final declaration. What is yours will not pass you by. What God has ordained cannot be permanently stopped. What was meant to destroy you will become part of your testimony. What was delayed can still arrive. What was hidden can still be revealed. What was broken can still be restored. And what you thought was the end may have only been the beginning. Archangel Michael is standing guard. Heaven has seen everything. God has not forgotten you. Your blessing is near. Do not give up. Do not turn back. Do not ignore this. Stay faithful. Stay alert. And keep trusting God. Because something is coming. And when it arrives, you will know why you were told to hold on for just a little longer. This is not the end of your story. This is the moment before the breakthrough. And if you feel that something inside you is shifting, do not walk away now. Stay close. Watch the next message. Because the confirmation you have been asking for may be closer than you think. Your season is changing. Your protection is increasing. Your blessing is approaching. And Archangel Michael is not leaving you alone in this battle. Stand firm. The door is near. The blessing is near. And the God who chose you has not finished writing your story. Do not close this message yet. There is something else you need to hear. You thought the warning was over. It is not. The first message was meant to awaken you. This part is meant to prepare you. Because when a blessing comes close, the atmosphere around you can change before your circumstances do. And Archangel Michael wants you to understand what may happen next. You may suddenly feel different. You may lose interest in conversations that once consumed you. You may stop explaining yourself to people who never tried to understand you. You may feel a strange peace replacing an old anxiety. You may notice that certain things no longer have power over your emotions. Do not be afraid of this change. This is not you becoming disconnected from life. This is you becoming disconnected from what was draining your spirit. Archangel Michael has been cutting away invisible attachments. Attachments to fear. Attachments to rejection. Attachments to people-pleasing. Attachments to old versions of yourself. You have spent too long carrying burdens that were never assigned to you. You carried other people's opinions. You carried their disappointment. You carried their jealousy. You carried their expectations. You carried their secrets. You carried their pain. And now heaven is saying, enough. You were never created to carry everyone. You were created to walk in your own calling. And there is a reason some people became uncomfortable when you started changing. Your growth exposed their intentions. Your healing interrupted their access. Your confidence disturbed their control. When you stopped reacting, they lost power. When you stopped chasing, they lost influence. When you stopped begging for acceptance, you became dangerous to the cycle that had kept you trapped. This is why you must not return. Do not go backward just because someone suddenly becomes friendly. Do not mistake temporary kindness for genuine transformation. Watch actions. Watch consistency. Watch patterns. Archangel Michael is sharpening your discernment because your next season requires wisdom. You cannot enter a new chapter with the same level of trust you gave everyone in the old one. You must learn to love without abandoning yourself. You must learn to forgive without reopening every door. You must learn to pray for people without allowing them to repeatedly wound you. You must learn that boundaries are not hatred. Sometimes boundaries are obedience. Sometimes distance is protection. Sometimes silence is wisdom. And sometimes the greatest act of faith is walking away from what God has already told you to release. You have asked for a blessing. But are you prepared to protect it? That is the question Archangel Michael is placing before you now. Because the blessing is not only about receiving. It is about stewardship. It is about recognizing what is sacred. It is about understanding that not everyone who celebrates your success is assigned to your future. Some people will love you when you are struggling because your struggle makes them feel superior. But when you rise, their hearts will reveal themselves. Do not be shocked. Do not be distracted. Do not waste your energy trying to convince them to celebrate you. Let them go. Your blessing does not require their approval. Your breakthrough does not need their applause. Your destiny does not need their permission. You have already spent enough time asking people to see what God placed inside you. Now stop. Let God reveal you. Let God elevate you. Let God defend you. Let God fight the battles you cannot fight without losing your peace. Archangel Michael is not asking you to fight every enemy. He is asking you to recognize when the battle is not yours. There are battles you win by refusing to participate. There are accusations you defeat by remaining silent. There are lies you destroy by continuing to live in truth. There are people you overcome simply by becoming unavailable to their chaos. You are entering a season where your peace will become more valuable than your need to be understood. And that is powerful. Because the moment you stop needing everyone to understand you, you become free. You do not have to explain why you changed. You do not have to justify why you walked away. You do not have to defend every decision. God knows. Heaven knows. Archangel Michael knows. That is enough. Now listen carefully. Something may happen soon that initially looks like disappointment. Do not react too quickly. The thing you call a setback may actually be a setup. The rejection may be protection. The cancellation may be redirection. The delay may be divine timing. The person who leaves may be making room. The opportunity that disappears may be preventing you from entering a room that was never meant for you. You must stop judging every event by how it feels in the moment. Some of your greatest blessings will begin as things you did not understand. You prayed for God to remove the wrong people. Then you became lonely. You prayed for God to change your life. Then everything became unstable. You prayed for clarity. Then confusion increased. You thought your prayers were failing. But what if they were being answered? What if the instability was the shaking of everything that could not remain? What if the loneliness was the separation required for your healing? What if the confusion was forcing you to stop trusting your own understanding and start trusting God? You wanted a breakthrough. But God wanted transformation. And transformation often feels uncomfortable before it feels beautiful. Archangel Michael is standing in this transition with you. He is not watching from a distance. He is intervening. He is protecting your mind from thoughts that do not belong to you. He is guarding your heart from returning to old wounds. He is placing a shield around your purpose. And when the enemy tries to whisper, "You are forgotten," Archangel Michael answers, No. When the enemy says, "You will always struggle," he answers, "No." When fear says, "Nothing will ever change," he answers, "Wait. Because heaven has already moved. You just have not seen the evidence yet. This is why you must remain patient. The seed does not become a tree in one day. The sunrise does not happen instantly. The healing of a wounded heart takes time. And the rebuilding of a life requires patience. But the process is still progress. You are closer than you were yesterday. You are wiser than you were last year. You are stronger than you were during the last battle. You may not feel powerful. But look at what you survived. Look at what tried to break you. Look at the things you thought would destroy you. You are still here. You are still breathing. You are still praying. You are still believing. That means something. Your survival is evidence that the enemy's plan did not succeed. And now Archangel Michael is saying, prepare yourself. Not because you should be afraid. Because you should be ready. Prepare your mind. Prepare your heart. Prepare your home. Prepare your habits. Prepare your character. Prepare your spirit. The blessing you prayed for may require a version of you that no longer exists. You cannot carry new wine in old vessels. You cannot enter a new season while constantly reopening the door to the old one. You must release. You must forgive. You must move. You must trust. There will be moments when you want to check the past. Do not. There will be moments when you want to contact someone who hurt you. Pause. There will be moments when you wonder whether you made the right decision. Pray. Do not allow temporary loneliness to make you return to permanent confusion. You have already learned what that road leads to. Choose differently this time. Because you are different now. The chosen one is not the person who never suffers. The chosen one is the person who refuses to let suffering define them. You were tested. You were pressed. You were misunderstood. You were rejected. You were underestimated. But you did not become what hurt you. That is your victory. You kept your heart alive. You kept your faith alive. And now heaven is preparing to reward your endurance. You may soon receive confirmation that you were right to wait. You may hear words you have been waiting years to hear. You may see a door open that you thought was permanently closed. You may discover that something you thought was lost was simply being repositioned. Do not force it. Do not manipulate it. Do not rush it. When God opens the door, you will not have to destroy yourself trying to keep it open. The right blessing will not require you to betray your values. The right relationship will not require you to abandon your identity. The right opportunity will not require you to become someone you are not. And the right people will not constantly demand that you shrink so they can feel comfortable. Remember that. You are not too much. You are not too sensitive. You are not too ambitious. You are not too spiritual. You are not too different. You were simply surrounded by people who could not recognize what was inside you. But now God is moving you toward people who will understand your assignment. And some of them may appear unexpectedly. Some may arrive through a conversation. Some through a workplace. Some through an opportunity. some through a completely unexpected connection. Do not judge the blessing by its appearance. Pray for discernment. Because sometimes the answer arrives quietly. It does not always announce itself with thunder. Sometimes it arrives as a simple message. A phone call. A meeting. An invitation. A thought. A sudden opportunity. A door you almost ignored. Pay attention. Archangel Michael is telling you to watch the details. Watch what repeats. Watch what brings peace. Watch what aligns with your values. Watch what does not require you to compromise your soul. The next few days may carry unusual movement. Things that were stagnant may begin to shift. Conversations may happen. Decisions may be made. Truths may surface. But whatever comes, do not panic. You have already been prepared for this. Your greatest test now is not whether you can survive another storm. Your greatest test is whether you can remain peaceful when the storm finally ends. Sometimes people become so accustomed to chaos that peace feels suspicious. Do not sabotage your peace because you are used to pain. You are allowed to be happy. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to receive. You are allowed to stop fighting. You are allowed to live without constantly waiting for disaster. Archangel Michael is breaking that cycle. He is teaching you that protection does not always look like conflict. Sometimes protection looks like peace. Sometimes protection looks like a quiet morning. Sometimes protection looks like a person you never met before treating you with kindness. Sometimes protection looks like a door closing before you step through it. Sometimes protection looks like God saying, "Not this one." Trust Him. Even when you do not understand. Especially when you do not understand. Because there are things you are being protected from that you may never know about. There are dangers you will never see. There are betrayals you will never experience because God redirected you in time. There are prayers you thought went unanswered that actually saved your life. You will understand later. For now, trust. And hear this clearly. Your blessing is not late. Your blessing is being prepared. Your character is being strengthened. Your discernment is being sharpened. Your capacity is being expanded. Your foundation is being reinforced. Because when the blessing comes, you will need the strength to hold it. And you will have it. You are not going into your next season empty. You are taking wisdom with you. You are taking experience. You are taking discernment. You are taking faith. You are taking the lessons of every battle. And Archangel Michael is taking the weapons of your enemies away from them. What they used to intimidate you will no longer work. What they used to manipulate you will no longer control you. What they used to make you afraid will no longer have authority over your mind. You are free. And freedom is beginning. So when the next sign appears, do not dismiss it. When the next opportunity comes, do not automatically reject it. When the next door opens, do not stand outside wondering whether you deserve to enter. You have been prepared. Walk in. Walk carefully. Walk humbly. But walk. Because you are not walking alone. Archangel Michael goes before you. God goes before you. And what is meant for you is making its way toward you. The clock is moving. The season is changing. The atmosphere is shifting. And the thing you have been waiting for may be closer than your eyes can measure. So stay alert over the next 24 hours. Guard your thoughts. Guard your words. Guard your peace. Do not argue unnecessarily. Do not respond to every provocation. Do not reveal every plan. Move quietly. Pray deeply. Listen carefully. Let God work. And if something unexpected happens, remember this message. Do not panic. The blessing may be arriving in disguise. Archangel Michael is standing at the gate. And he is saying, "You have waited long enough. You have suffered long enough. You have carried enough. Now prepare to receive. This is your season to stop begging for what God has already decided to release. Stop chasing. Stop forcing. Stop doubting. Stop looking backward. Your future is calling you. Your blessing is approaching. And the same God who kept you alive through your darkest season is now preparing to show you why He never let you go. So stand firm. Do not give up in the final moments. Do not abandon your faith at the edge of your breakthrough. Keep trusting. Keep praying. Keep watching. Because the story is turning. And when you finally see what God has been doing behind the scenes, you will understand every delay. You will understand every closed door. You will understand every goodbye. You will understand every unanswered prayer. And you will say, "God was protecting me the whole time." Yes. He was. And He still is. Archangel Michael is still standing. Your protection is still active. Your purpose is still alive. Your blessing is still coming. And your story is still being written. Do not stop now. The door is closer than you think. The answer is closer than you think. The breakthrough is closer than you think. And if this message found you at the exact moment you needed it, then stay close. Do not leave this journey yet. Watch the next message. Because there is more you need to know about the season that is opening before you. The battle is changing. The protection is increasing. The blessing is approaching. And this time, you will be ready. Stand firm. Trust God. And let Archangel Michael lead you into what comes next. Before you leave this message, listen to me one final time. This is the final part. And I need you to hear this with your whole heart. Because everything you have endured has brought you to this moment. You have been waiting. You have been praying. You have been questioning. You have been wondering when your season would finally change. And now Archangel Michael is standing before you with one final declaration. The waiting season is coming to an end. Not because the battle was easy. Not because you never felt weak. Not because you never cried. But because you refused to completely give up. You kept going when you had no explanation. You kept believing when you had no evidence. You kept praying when heaven seemed silent. And God saw that. Heaven saw that. Archangel Michael saw that. Every tear was seen. Every sacrifice was seen. Every time you chose peace instead of revenge was seen. Every time you stayed silent instead of responding to hatred was seen. Every time you trusted God instead of allowing fear to control you was seen. You thought nobody noticed. But heaven noticed. And now the season is shifting. The blessing you have been waiting for is not merely about money. It is not merely about possessions. It is not merely about receiving something you can hold in your hands. Your greatest blessing is the restoration of what the battle tried to steal from your spirit. Your peace. Your confidence. Your joy. Your hope. Your ability to trust again. Your ability to wake up without immediately expecting something terrible to happen. That is the blessing. And from that foundation, other blessings can begin to grow. You have spent too much time surviving. Now you are learning how to live. You have spent too much time protecting yourself. Now you are learning how to receive. You have spent too much time asking, "Why me?" Now you will begin asking, "What is God preparing me for?" That question will change everything. Because your pain was not the end of your story. It was preparation. Your rejection was not proof that you were worthless. It was redirection. Your loneliness was not proof that you were forgotten. It was separation. Your delay was not proof that your prayer failed. It was timing. And the people who walked away? Let them walk. Do not chase them. Do not beg them to return. Do not spend another night trying to understand why someone could hurt you after everything you did for them. Some people were only assigned to a chapter. They were never assigned to the entire book. And Archangel Michael is closing that chapter now. He is standing at the doorway of your future, sword raised, declaring that the old cycle cannot follow you. The cycle of betrayal ends here. The cycle of self-doubt ends here. The cycle of begging for love ends here. The cycle of accepting less than you deserve ends here. The cycle of constantly expecting disaster ends here. You are entering something different. But you must believe it. You cannot keep speaking the language of defeat while asking God to give you victory. You cannot keep calling yourself cursed when God is calling you protected. You cannot keep calling yourself forgotten when heaven has remembered you. You cannot keep calling yourself weak when you have survived everything that tried to destroy you. Change your words. Change your focus. Change your expectation. Not because you are pretending everything is perfect. But because you finally understand that your circumstances do not have the final word. God does. And Archangel Michael is reminding you. The battle is not your identity. The battle was something you went through. It is not who you are. You are more than what happened to you. You are more than the betrayal. You are more than the rejection. You are more than the mistakes. You are more than the years you lost. You are more than the people who misunderstood you. You are still becoming. And what God is building in you cannot be destroyed by what happened behind you. Now listen. There is something I want you to do. Not because you have to. Not because anyone is forcing you. But because gratitude is powerful when it comes from a willing heart. If this message has spoken directly to you, if you feel that these words reached you at a moment when you needed strength, if you believe in the work of bringing messages of faith, hope, protection, and encouragement to people who may be silently struggling, then, if you are able and genuinely feel moved to support this mission, you can consider making a contribution of $20. $20. Not as a payment for God's blessing. Not as a price for a miracle. And never as a requirement for your breakthrough. Your blessing is not for sale. God's love is not for sale. Your salvation is not for sale. This is simply an opportunity for those who feel called to help support the work behind these messages and allow this ministry of encouragement to continue reaching others. If you are able to give, give freely. If you cannot give, do not feel guilty. Your faith is more important than your money. Your prayer is more valuable than any amount. Your presence here matters. And if you choose to contribute, let it come from gratitude, not fear. Never give because you are afraid that something terrible will happen if you do not. Never give because someone tells you that God will only bless you if you pay. That is not the message. The message is simple. If this work has helped you, and you genuinely want to support it, you may contribute $20 as an act of appreciation and partnership. And if you cannot, simply continue watching, praying, and sharing hope with someone who needs it. That is enough. Now come back to the message. Because there is something even more important than any contribution. Your decision. You have a choice before you. You can continue living as though the worst is always about to happen. Or you can begin walking as someone who knows they are protected. You can keep expecting betrayal. Or you can trust your discernment. You can keep looking backward. Or you can finally turn toward the future. You can keep asking why God allowed the storm. Or you can begin preparing for what the storm taught you. Archangel Michael is calling you forward. He is not calling you backward. He is not asking you to return to the place that broke you. He is not asking you to reopen every door that God closed. He is saying, move forward. Move forward with wisdom. Move forward with humility. Move forward with faith. Move forward knowing that you are not alone. And here is the final warning. When your blessing begins to appear, do not sabotage it by becoming afraid. You have prayed for peace. When peace comes, do not create chaos because peace feels unfamiliar. You have prayed for love. When healthy love appears, do not reject it because you are afraid of being hurt again. You have prayed for opportunity. When the door opens, do not convince yourself that you are unqualified. You have prayed for abundance. When you begin receiving, do not feel guilty for having more than you once had. You have prayed for freedom. When God gives you freedom, do not return to the prison simply because it is familiar. Remember this. The familiar is not always safe. The uncomfortable is not always dangerous. And the unknown is not always something to fear. Sometimes the unknown is where your miracle is waiting. You have already survived the known. Now trust God with the unknown. Because the next chapter will require courage. There will be moments when you have to say no. There will be moments when you have to walk away. There will be moments when you have to choose yourself without feeling guilty. There will be moments when people accuse you of changing. And your answer will be, yes. I changed. Because I healed. Because I grew. Because God brought me through something that changed the way I see everything. You do not owe everyone access to the person you are becoming. Protect your peace. Protect your purpose. Protect your prayer life. Protect your heart. And let Archangel Michael protect the rest. The next 3 days may feel significant. Do not obsess over every little event. Do not live in fear. Simply remain aware. If something leaves, let it go. If something arrives, examine it. If someone speaks, listen. If your spirit feels uneasy, pause. If your heart feels peaceful, pray for confirmation. Do not rush. The blessing that comes from God will not require you to destroy your peace to receive it. And remember, not every opportunity is your opportunity. Not every person is your person. Not every open door is your door. Discernment will be one of your greatest protections in this next season. That is why Archangel Michael has been sharpening you. The old you might have accepted anything just to avoid being alone. The new you will wait for what is right. The old you might have chased people who ignored you. The new you will allow people to reveal whether they truly value you. The old you might have explained yourself endlessly. The new you will trust that God knows the truth. The old you might have responded immediately. The new you will pause and pray. That is growth. That is maturity. That is spiritual strength. And that is why you are ready for what is coming. You are not ready because you are perfect. You are ready because you are wiser. You know what you will never tolerate again. You know what you will never sacrifice again. You know what matters. You know what peace feels like. And you know what it costs to lose it. Never forget that lesson. Because your next season will be different. You will recognize the difference between attention and genuine love. Between opportunity and distraction. Between correction and condemnation. Between protection and rejection. Between a closed door and a delayed door. Your discernment will become your shield. Your faith will become your foundation. And your peace will become your evidence. The enemy wanted to make you believe that you were alone. But look at you. You are still here. Still standing. Still listening. Still believing. The enemy wanted you to become bitter. But you still have compassion. The enemy wanted you to stop dreaming. But you still have hope. The enemy wanted you to stop praying. But you are still calling on God. That means the enemy lost. You are still here. And your story is still moving. So I want you to remember these words when you leave this message. The delay did not destroy you. The betrayal did not destroy you. The rejection did not destroy you. The loneliness did not destroy you. The attack did not destroy you. You are still standing. And Archangel Michael is still standing with you. The sword is still raised. The protection is still active. The promise is still alive. And the blessing is still near. Do not let one difficult moment convince you that God has abandoned you. Do not let one person's opinion erase what heaven has spoken over your life. Do not let temporary circumstances define an eternal purpose. You have come too far. You have survived too much. You have learned too much. You have grown too much. You cannot go back to who you were. And you do not need to. The future is calling. The blessing is approaching. The door is opening. And this time, you will walk through it with wisdom. So take a breath. Lift your head. Release the fear. And say within yourself, I trust God. Say it again. I trust God. Even if you are still afraid. Say it. I trust God. Even if you do not understand. Say it. I trust God. Because faith does not require you to have every answer. Faith requires you to trust the one who does. And now, I leave you with this final declaration. What God has prepared for you will not be destroyed by your past. Your future will not be cancelled by someone else's jealousy. Your purpose will not be erased by betrayal. Your blessing will not disappear because the road was difficult. You are protected. You are guided. You are being prepared. And you are moving forward. Archangel Michael stands at your side. Heaven has seen everything. God has heard every prayer. The chapter is closing. The new season is beginning. And the blessing you thought was delayed may have been waiting for the exact moment when you were strong enough to receive it without losing yourself. So do not give up. Not today. Not now. Not at the edge of your breakthrough. Keep trusting God. Keep your eyes open. Keep your spirit alert. Keep walking. And when you finally receive the confirmation you have been waiting for, remember this message. You were warned. You were prepared. You were protected. And you were never forgotten. If this message found you at the right moment, stay connected to these messages. There may be another word waiting for you that speaks directly to the next step of your journey. Do not ignore what brings you closer to faith. Do not ignore what strengthens your spirit. And do not ignore the quiet voice inside you telling you that something is changing. Because something is changing. Your season is shifting. Your strength is returning. Your peace is being restored. Your protection is increasing. And your blessing is near. Archangel Michael has spoken. The battle is not over because you are weak. The battle is ending because you are ready to move beyond it. Stand firm. Trust God. Walk forward. And never forget. You survived the storm. You endured the night. And now, the morning is coming.